Bora, vamos ver o vídeo do SeeEl aqui então, se eu sobreviver a esse calor? Jogaria? Acho que sim, tendo um negócio legal, por que não?
Start with Smiley. I think before we start with Smiley, what's really important is you guys understand my scouting process. Does that make any sense? What's really important is you guys understand how we got to pick getting Smiley anyway. Okay, so we're gonna go on, and I'm gonna start off by, I can't show you everything, guys, right? Because obviously there are some details in which is not allowed to be shown. So give me one moment. I'm gonna change screen and I'm gonna show you some of the things that we've been working on. Whoa, I'm really big here. Give me a sec. I'm gonna show you guys my Viva KEYD plan. And kind of how we reached there.
Hi, I really like the way you coach. I've learned a lot from you too, especially when you really broke it down for Sir Skati.
Thank you, Zabon. I appreciate it. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. So I'm just setting it up. Okay, excellent. So for you guys to have a really good idea on how we scouted our players, we need to first start with our comprehensive plan, right? So we had this comprehensive plan. And I can't show you all the pages because there's some secret details in there. But let me start by talking about how we got to the scouting process. So the way that we scout right now is actually a multi-level system. This is kind of what we're looking at. First of all, we assess high value, low cost gems with data processing. So like so this is a startup ran by my friend Mephisto. He's a head coach. He was ex-head coach of Vitality, along with the analyst from G2 back in the day. And basically what they do is they cross-reference data between champions and other players within high elo. So they start with about 500,000 games in Europe, 500,000 games in Europe, more games in Brazil, Korea, altogether millions and millions of games. And they assess the strength of each player based on, what their ability is and what certain stats look like. So to give you an idea, for example, what we found amongst top players is that they tend to have higher deaths, high KDA, and very high damage done. And the way that you calculate this is instead of just looking at their DPM, you compare their DPM when they play a certain champion, right? So for example, when they play Lee Sin, what is the damage per minute? What is the KDA? What is their goal difference percentage relative to the competition? When you have, for example, a player that plays Lee Sin in the same elo, you can see which one is the better Lee Sin by calculating that, and they get as much data as possible. Does that make sense? So to give you a rough idea, let me give you a screenshot of kind of what it looks like. It looks something along the lines of. I'm gonna skip the names, okay? Like this. But there's a lot of like there's shit tons of data, and this is based on all the games, right? And I won't show the names, but then we assess their strengths based on each player, and we go through Brazil, North America, Korea, etc. And it goes over their solo queue data primarily, right? So this is my first step. The second step is, and we paid money for this as well. And this is what I really liked about KEYD. They invested in data mining. Number 2 is play history. So I will look at their data with in-game replay. So I'll watch the actual game inside solo queue, inside team environment, everything. I will go over the game day VOD, like how they play in person, the first person view POV. So this is where I cross-reference kind of my understanding of the game. Yeah, and of course I won't disclose all the intel, but like my understanding of the game, which is not replicable by every coach, right? So for example, how do they click? Do I like the way they click? Do I like the way they move their mouse? Do I like their communication? Do I think that they're making the right decisions inside the game? And then from there, we look at like the interview process. So what we really looked at was, team culture. Is it the right profile for the team that I want to build? So something that's very important to me is I think that the current professional Brazilian team culture and the way professional play is ran is esports in itself is in its infancy. And even major regions are not doing it correctly. In Brazil, it's even worse. So the practice.
Não farei preço bom para trabalhar com o SeeEl. Mas o que eu ganharia com isso? Sem ser ter que trabalhar, né? Eu não trabalho, eu sou streamer.
This culture, your work culture, the way that you treat your teammates, the way that you talk to each other, everything is terrible, really. And I'm willing to take the flack for that if you don't like it, but that's my honest opinion. So what's really important for me is, do we have the right personalities within the team? And then I will also assess risk. Are our players drinking alcohol, doing drugs? Do they like partying? For me, partying is a no-go, because I mean, the way that I view the way that I view esports is like, esports is sports for me. It's not sports in the sense that a game publisher owns the sport, so it can, in my opinion, never be a true sport.
Mano, eu consigo concordar com essa afirmação dele. Falar a verdade.
This is the problem with esports, because the game publisher has too much power, the rules change, the game changes. But it's sport in every other way. The stress management, the training, everything.
É que, mano, por exemplo, é aquilo. Tua carreira dura muito pouco e durante o ano tu tem que ter 100% de foco numa parte pequena do ano até. Cara, se tu quiser muito, dá pra fazer um esforço e evitar essas coisas, tipo álcool, droga, igual ele falou, em prol de, né, fazer o máximo do pouco tempo que tu tem. Se tu perder, mano, agosto tu já tá de férias. Até janeiro. Dá pra fazer um esforço, mano. Você vivia na época de pro player? Não, nem saí de casa, velho. Depois de, mano, a gente jogava sábado. Sábado de noite chegava em casa, tomava banho, pedia comida, abria, via o... Normalmente a gente jogava MD2 e MD3. Via todos os jogos. Falava, mano, preciso treinar com esse champion, ia jogar solo kill até 4 da manhã, acordava domingo e fazia a mesma coisa. Não, acho que é o melhor jeito de se fazer o que eu fazia, mas eu vivia aquilo, mano. A minha vida era apenas o CBLOL e o LoL.
So, in the middle of a training season, what's really important is your team culture, your individual processes, your coaching, your training schedule slash like other things related to training, and then obviously things like data, etc., 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 right? And for me, I truly believe that during a season, maintaining your condition, this includes health, skill.
Que era a única coisa que você tinha. Hoje os caras podem só largar o CBLOL e virar streamer. Errado. Quem pode largar o CBLOL e virar streamer é Titã, Team, Robô. O resto não. Vocês acham que o resto consegue largar e virar streamer mesmo? Pouquíssimos têm essa capacidade. E os que têm essa capacidade são os que dão a vida. Entendeu? Como não tem a ver sobre, ele tem outra oportunidade, então não dá vida. É querer, não é sobre, eu posso fazer outra coisa, então vou ficar de boa. Não.
Is a part of your job. The truth is, and I'm sorry to start here before talking about Smiley, but this is very important when I talk about Smiley here, okay? The truth is, how you feel and how healthy you are also impacts how you play. And we're very lucky. Like, esports pays well. Compared to your average Brazilian, people are probably making 2-3 times salary minimum in this industry. So, so what are the pros and cons of a pro player? One is that you have an intense schedule. But so this is the con. The con is that you have an intense schedule. There's a lot of stress. Maybe not in all teams, but at least in top teams, there needs to be a lot of stress to perform, to practice, to put the time into work to play solo queue. And this also means you need to know a lot of skills. You need to have a lot of skills that people don't usually have. So stress management, like your nutrition, sleep, all this stuff really matters a lot, right? But what are the pros? Well, first of all, the pay is massive.
Mano, o engraçado aqui é que o Exodia tinha muito estresse, um calendário intenso, zero stress management, nutrição uma merda e a gente mal dormia.
Massive. The off season is really long, right? So a normal human being works Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and they take Saturday, Sunday off. A pro player works 6 days a week. They train Monday. I mean, I think it's different in Brazil. I think it's like Thursday to Tuesday to Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? They play on Saturday, or they play on Saturday, Sunday, rest on Monday. So they rest one time a week. And generally your season goes like 10 weeks regular season and then like 4 weeks playoffs. And let's just say that you go to MSI or whatever, that's another 4 weeks for MSI, Worlds, etc., right? So in total you work about 36 months of the year. 36 weeks of the year. But this also means that you get 16 weeks of undisturbed break. So when you calculate the amount of days you have off over the entire year, it's way more than the regular person. So there's no reason as a pro player you should be partying before your game day. Does that make sense?
Concordo 100%.
Like if you're partying to release stress, or if you're drinking alcohol to release stress, you have bad stress management skills. And it's not just Brazil, it's everywhere. So what you have to realize is like team culture and your personality is very important. You are not going to go out partying the day before the game day. You're fired if you go out partying before game day. I don't give a shit. Like, I will throw the season. It's that simple for me. So if you want to lose your job, sure. I don't give a fuck. So if that's your problem, you can leave. And that's also one of the reasons why we assess risk. What are their hobbies? What are their habits? What kind of personality type do they have? And how serious about improving? Because in the end, you are treated as an athlete, and I treat you with respect. Anyway, next point. So after we do that, we assess our bidding process, we assess our budget and our circumstances. And let me tell you something about Smiley. Okay, Smiley, I worked with Smiley in 2021, right? This is where we come to it. And I have never in my career worked with a more outstanding player when it came to team environment. This is when I was his coach.
What?
And back then, I wasn't a great coach. And the reason we didn't win is because 8 weeks into the season, so almost 2 months into the season, they took my top laner, who was my star player. So that's why. And what else do we know about Smiley, guys? What else do you guys know about Smiley? He's an LFL champion. And he played with Pukui. Ricardo, what you have to realize is he's not Diamond 1. This is what I was saying, right? Like, what people don't realize is that this account that people see is not his real account. It's his fake account. It's just the account that he plays on during the season, and it's not loading for some reason. He's much higher ranked. He has a secret account. So what else do we know about Smiley? Well, first of all, I think that Smiley made a really big mistake in his career, right? And I'll be really honest. The mistake that he made was here. He joined 2 shit teams in a row. No offense. Incredibly trash teams in a row. So why did this happen? Well, the first reason he joined these 2 teams was because, I mean, he did. Not money. He got jailed. I can talk about it because it's not me, right? I can talk about it because I know. He got fucking jailed. So what happened was if you look at his career, he won France Championship and then he signed to Vitality B. And then they jailed him until the very last moment so he couldn't find a team. But Smiley's personality is really simple. He got fucking jailed, bro. Does that make sense? So what happened was Smiley had a bunch of good teams to go, but then he got fucking jailed and then had to join a shit team. The org is fine. I'm not gonna lie. I talked to the Gamers Origin owners. They're good people and they're good owners, but their roster and their budget was dog shit. My personal opinion. And their coach was a bit troll too. So not jail IRL. He joined this team called Geo. He didn't join a great team, and if you have bad results in 1 year, when you join a bad team, what happens the next year? It's harder to join a good team after. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Agree, chat? So basically, he got contract jailed. So now he couldn't join a good team. So he was stuck in a bad team for another year. Do I think it's a terrible team? No. I think the German league team, Eintracht Spandau, was actually decent. But the problem is the competition was very hard. So basically to give you a rundown, why was Smiley picked? I think a really big reason was he was, first of all, number 1, under market value. Under market value. Does that make sense? Like the KEYD budget is maybe 5th/6th place, including my salary. Including my salary. So I need to find a player that is good value for money. I know that Smiley was, first of all, under market value. Number 2, I think that he was way better than people think. Way better. Number 3, best teammate I've ever seen in 4 years of coaching. My number 1 priority going to Brazil is changing the team culture. Even if we lose, I'll explain in a second. Even if we lose year 1, I want to develop a team culture that emphasizes 1, focus on training, good training habits, building up the players and their confidence, not breaking them down. Positivity, like bringing a positive atmosphere. How do I make the text bigger, guys? Do you guys know? There we go. So I really want to focus on developing the positive atmosphere. And let me be truthful with you, right? if I want the best player, and Smiley knows this too, I'd get a Korean. The level gap is so big. Sorry, it's true. Like, I can get an affordable Korean, will gap that's like 17, that will gap most EU players and obviously BR players. But that doesn't help build team culture. I really hesitated to look to bring Koreans in for 2 reasons. 1, their culture is very different to Brazil. Number 1. So personalities won't fit. Number 2 is their practice routine and mindset is not applicable to anything outside of Korea. How they grew up and what's even legal in South Korea is fucking illegal everywhere else except China. So if I use the Korean method in Brazil, I will go to jail. Does that make sense? Real jail. Like, do you know how the players practice in Brazil? Korean schedule is like this: 1 to 4 p.m., 5 to 8 p.m., scrim. 9 to 12 a.m., scrim. 12 to 4 a.m., solo queue. Again, repeat. So you're telling me that I can bring a Korean in, build a long-term structure. No, I'm not joking. Build a long-term structure in Brazil. Like, even the non-intense schedule is 1 to 4 scrim, 3-hour break, 7 to 11 p.m. scrim, 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. minimum solo queue. Not possible. So for me, it's like, okay, I need to answer the question, why do we need a good team culture? Number 1 for us was we want to change the team culture, right? For practice, better team practice, and we can be an org that people want to come to. Something that's important just as much as coaching and other things. Sorry guys, why is this doing this? Coaching and other things is players want to have to come to your org. Do you know why? Instead of paying, let's just say 5k Brazilian real for a player, if your org is schemado, it will cost 8 to 10k. I'm not joking. Really. For example, just because I'm in KEYD, this is what people forget, don't understand, about players take up to 40% pay cut. Really. So, like, the amount you invest in me, you get plus alpha because I look after my players. I would rather lose my job. They take less money than fuck over a player. And I've done that before. And people know this. That's my reputation. So what's really important is if you have a good team culture, with or without me, right? I want the org to succeed, even if I leave. I would rather die than fuck the player, right? That's what I mean. So even if I leave...
eu já falei no MD3, né? Eu acho que ele tá fazendo é foda. Ele tem um método, não é, mano? Ó, tem esse jogador free agent, ele é bom, pega aqui, esse aqui e reza pra Deus. Ele tá pegando jogadores que fazem sentido baseado no perfil de coaching dele. Jogadores que ele vê potencial 2, 3 anos. E se for necessário mudanças pra ele alcançar um título daqui a uns anos, ele vai fazer. E os jogadores têm que saberem disso. Tipo, que jeito melhor de se montar um time, velho? E ele tá pensando não só em jogo, mas fora também.
If they need to be a team, everyone
eu só acho que ele pensa muito em tipo, o environment, o ambiente, a cultura, mas ele pensa muito pouco em como os players se sinergizam, sabe? Pelo menos ele não falou sobre isso.
To join. I swear on my fucking ass, bro. I swear on my ass. Pay cuts is like cheaper salary. They take 40% cheaper salary because I'm coach. And I want a good org. So without me, they can still do this. Number 1 way to do it is good management. And one of the reasons I joined KEYD was good management. So the people that I really look up to here was like Hugo, the CEO, and I'm not just sucking ass here because I had options, right? Hugo, Pedro, Edu were all the same vision. And you know, Hugo and Pedro, I think, actively lead the team a little bit more. So really, like, good team culture means better talent.
O script que eles passaram para ele, então, foi bom, viu? Que historicamente...
It's better talent for cheaper, which is more affordable and gives you more success.
Historicamente,
right?
né?
And this is the most important. Better practice, better environment, means what? Better talent development. So my number 2 was talent development. Who do we have in our academy roster right now? MOTIVOS. According to our data, or my data, MOTIVOS was the second best ADC in pure data after Brands. Skill-wise, he's quite far off right now. Like, I think Titan is number 1, Brands number 2, and everyone else is really far off, even Netuno. But I think MOTIVOS is insane talent. No, excluding Koreans, guys. I told you I don't want Koreans, right? Listen, if there's one role I think a Brazilian should play, it's ADC. Why? No brain, all mechanics. I'm sorry. It's true. So, no flame. Like, what makes Titan special is he has both. Rance doesn't. He has better mechanics, I think. So why Smiley? Who can lead a team? Smiley. Who can create good team culture? Smiley. Who can be a role model for future success and talent? Smiley. I don't like throwing rookies under the bus. I think bringing Pro Delta straight to CBLOL in that team in second split is fucking stupid. Sorry. Let me tell you why. I will not throw my rookie under a bus. I want to give time and space.
Esperava. Acabou já?
To show Mortius.
Bora.
What does a good leader look like? What does a good team environment look like? What makes a good teammate? Make sense? Make sense? What does high-level League of Legends look like? Smiley is still fucking good. He can play against Root. I mean, you'll see. Root, Rance, and Titan. No problem. He's still middle-bottom LEC level. He just isn't insane. That's my honest opinion. Like, for example, I think Bao is really insane. Noah, Kazi, Comp, he's a bit below them. According to my experience and data, he's similar to Harpoon, Edui, etc. Hans is a different level. Hans is the best in Europe. But does that make sense, guys? So in Brazil, he is top 3. And my honest opinion is Smiley has the ability and potential to be number 1. Why do I think that? Well, number 1, data. Number 2, solo queue. Number 3, pro play. Number 4, my experience with him. Yes. Guys, what do you guys know about Smiley? In 2021, 70% win rate, 1,200 LP, rank 1 solo queue. Smiley. Finalist in German League.
Mano,
2024. 2020.
vou passar pra vocês um pouco da minha visão sobre rookies no Brasil. Esse bagulho que ele faz de botar no bloco de notas é mó bom pra, logicamente, colocar logicamente o pensamento. Eu vou dar um pouco do meu pensamento sobre rookies e por que a abordagem no Brasil de rookies e sobre jogadores novos é extremamente equivocada, na minha opinião, tá? Vou dar um exemplo pra vocês. Vamos pra outro jogo, tá? Olha, normalmente quando faz barulho no céu, cai água depois, mas nunca se sabe, né?
Não, pô, pode ser jatinho.
Ah, o jatinho que faz...
Vai.
Olha, se tá ouvindo um jatinho assim, fudeu, tá?
Oi, teco-teco.
Teco-teco? É chuva, porra! Incrível como a gente vai, mano, de extremamente sério, análise super formulada para as conversas mais aleatórias do universo.
Desculpa, amor, que é um docinho.
Não, tá tudo bem, amor. É o charme. Tá, vamos lá. A fã mais fraca do Minerva. Agora há pouco ela tá vendo o canal de cortes do Minerva, mano. Já sei de onde tá vindo os takes em biologia. Tá, vamos lá. Eu não tô no sul não, Gabriel. Eu tô em São Paulo. Deixa eu tentar passar a minha visão um pouco pra vocês, tá? Sobre rookies. Eu acho que é de novo, um tema extremamente com abordagem muito errada no Brasil. Vamos pensar em League of Legends, tá? Eu vou me usar de exemplo, certo? Eu vou me usar de exemplo aqui. A gente tem vários roots mid... Não quero, amor. Obrigado. De verdade. A gente tem vários exemplos de rookies com muito talento no Brasil, mecanicamente hoje, certo? Você é um rookie? Calma, velho. Ouve e depois comenta, pode ser? Se me colocar melhor, eu acho que o Revolta é um exemplo melhor. Eu vou usar o exemplo do Revolta. O Revolta na jungle, certo? Esse arrombado, ele joga LoL há mais de 10 anos. tá? Ele tem 10 anos de experiência, 10 anos de estudo, 10 anos de vivência de League of Legends, certo? Se tu pegar e colocar ele num time e pegar, por exemplo, o Sanks, que é top 1 da solo kill, insano mecanicamente, a chance do time ser melhor provavelmente é com o Revolta, mesmo o Revolta sendo pior mecanicamente que ele. E o Sanks sendo, tipo, tendo 3 contas top 1, mano, melhor de 1 da solo kill de servidor. Por quê, tá? Porque League of Legends, principalmente no competitivo, ele é um jogo baseado em construção de vivência ou experiência, tá? Então, o Revolta, estudando anos e anos e anos e anos e anos e anos de jogo, ele sabe melhor tomar decisões e ele reconhece mais rápido as situações e ele consegue tomar decisões mais inteligentes que, por exemplo, o Sanks. Porque o Sanks, ele joga competitivo, não tem um ano. Vocês conseguem entender a diferença? Então, Kaique, o Sanks ele é muito bom, mas tu pega lá o Sanks num mid-game de o Kong, ele tava meio perdido, ele não sabia como jogar. Se fosse o Revolta ali de o Kong, talvez ganharia o jogo. Ele saberia construir a situação pra ele flancar numa luta e ganhar. Isso quer dizer que o Revolta é melhor que o Sanks? É extremamente debatable, entendeu? Então, o que eu quero dizer com isso é, pra um jogador, ele... E aí a gente tá falando de Brasil, no qual a solo kill não nos dá experiência nenhuma. Ou melhor, a solo kill não nos dá vivência em situações de competitivo pra reproduzir e aprender sozinho. Então, um ano jogando solo kill BR, mano, chega a um ponto que tu não consegue aprender mais nada pro competitivo se tu não jogar. Então, o que acontece? Pro Sanks conseguir melhorar e chegar, por exemplo, a tomar a decisão do Revolta, ele vai precisar de anos de estudo. Ele tem que aprender sobre o jogo, certo? E é por isso que tu pegar, igual ele falou, o Pro Delta e jogar na PEN e falar, não, ele tem talento, ele vai ficar bom. Mano, não é assim. O Pro Delta não viveu, por exemplo, 1/10 das situações que o Cells viveu. Como que o Pro Delta vai conseguir passar o Cells assim em um ano? Entende? Sendo que o Cells tá começando a viver as situações, ele tá começando a construir a experiência, começando a construir aquele negócio de ver uma situação e saber o que dá pra fazer. E o Cells já tá nisso há 5, 6, 7 anos. E é por isso que quem domina nesse jogo são os jogadores mais velhos que conseguem manter a mecânica. Vulgo, robô e team. Porque são 10 anos de vivência de tudo no jogo, aprendendo sobre macro, aprendendo sobre tudo. Mais a mecânica pra executar. Logo, jogadores dominantes. Então não é só sobre ser bom. Não é, mano... Eu acho que isso tem um pouco no futebol, mas é menos. Pega lá o Hendrick. Mano, o Hendrick não sabe tanto de futebol como os outros jogadores. Mas botou no Palmeiras, o cara é bom. Ele, mano, deitou, velho. Deitou jogar. Porque ele é bom. No LoL isso é muito difícil acontecer. Talvez se a gente pegar um talento geracional igual ele, funcionaria. Talvez ele não seja um exemplo bom. Mas, mano, o gato quase desligou o PC.
Aí ele não vai desligar nunca.
Tá bom. Mano, ele botou a patinha em cima do botão de desligar, velho. Brance. Então, Brance, mas a gente tá falando de AD Carry. Que, como eu falei, é a role em que a experiência não é tão importante quanto as outras, mas sim a mecânica. Consegue entender a diferença? Mano, eu vou falar a real. Essa minha ideia ela não tá maturada o suficiente ainda pra eu conseguir me expressar ela bem, tá? Mas essa é um pouquinho da base do que eu penso que, tipo, a gente trata Rookie como... Mano, peraí, esse moleque aqui tem 17 anos e ele clica pra caralho, esse maluco vai amassar no meu time. Bota no teu time e fala, o cara não sabe jogar, que curioso. Porra, mano, manda embora e chama outro, entendeu? O Boal é um bom exemplo, mano, certo? Principalmente suporte jungle, que precisa de muita experiência, assim. Mas mid também, mano. Quantos mid a gente não vê que sabe jogar lane, sabe, mano, jogar teamfight, mas o cara não consegue ter impacto, entendeu? Então, essa é um pouco da minha teoria em relação ao Rookie, que, mano, o Rookie ele tem que ser desenvolvido. Aqui, o SeeEl pegou o Pro Delta e o Desames, e ele sabe que o Pro Delta e o Desames não vão ganhar do Maurang e do Cells no primeiro split deles, do time dele. Não vão, não tem como. É desproporcional, é tipo, como se não tivesse... chega a ser injusto com os dois competindo. Mas ele sabe que são jogadores que, agregando essa experiência, construindo esse conhecimento, têm o potencial de serem os jogadores da roles deles. E aí que vem a construção de um Rookie, mano. Não é, por exemplo, a gente pegar o Sanks, cara, o Sanks é muito bom, vou botar lá no CBLOL em um time com 5 moleque muito bom. Os 5 são bons, vai dar bom. Não, LoL é um jogo de experiência, de estratégia de vivência, de tomada de decisão rápida, e tudo isso necessita construção. Entendeu? Você não pode fazer igual a Liberty, falar que vai desenvolver talento no split seguinte dos cartas dos caras. Mas, mano, se tu falou, mano, eu vou desenvolver esse talento, aí tu treina o cara, aí tu vira e fala, esse cara não tem perfil ou ele não é bom o suficiente. Tá errado em mudar, então? Ah, não, peguei um maluco com 17 anos aqui, eu vou deixar ele até 25 com o meu time, uma hora vai dar bom. Também não é assim. Se o SeeEl ver lá que, mano, o Pro Delta não foi o suficiente. Mano, o Pro Delta não é bom o suficiente. Mano, ano que vem o Pro Delta roda, ele pega outro cara que ele julga mais... com mais potencial, ou, entendeu? Eu acho que o Pro Delta é o suficiente, ele só precisa aprender. Mas eu tô falando o exemplo. Mas no caso da Liberty, sabemos que o caso real não é desenvolver talento e sim economizar. Tá, e qual talento era pra ficar lá? Me diz. Quero saber a tua opinião, hein? Qual talento era pra ter ficado na Liberty? Conta pra mim. Então tá, quando tiver a tua resposta aí tu me fala. Mas, mano, o Aces, ele nem sequer, se ele era tão bom assim, ele não arrumou outro time, velho. Eu acho que o Aces é bom, tá? Eu não tô falando que é ruim. Mas, cara, alguma coisa tem.
22 to 2023, consistently.
Rapaziada, vocês têm noção que o time da Liberty Academy foi melhor que o time principal? Eles eram melhores. E o que eles fizeram? Eles mantiveram os jogadores do Academy, que demonstraram potencial. Porque o do principal não demonstraram, entendeu?
1.5 KLP Challenger. Top 5 to 10 ADCs in Europe.
Sim, mas eu digo, olha quantos talentos a gente já perdeu, mano. Mano, a gente já perdeu o Boal, a gente já perdeu o Ael. São dois jogadores que quando a gente viu o potencial deles, geral falou, mano, esse aqui vai ser o melhor do país. Na role dele. Top, né? E os dois não desenvolveram. E aí, Giamago também. Mas o Giamago, ele desistiu, né? Não é que ele não deu certo, é que ele desistiu. Mas o Boal e o El não conseguiram dar certo em nenhum lugar. E por quê? Eles foram jogados em ambientes complicados. Olha, o Ael com o Peter, mano, ele parecia o top 3 top laner do Brasil, velho. O Peter saiu, o Ael nunca mais deu certo em nenhum lugar, certo? Então, não adianta achar que, mano, o cara é rookie, ele é muito talentoso, ele vai amassar todo mundo. São exceções esses, tá? A maioria precisa de um tempo de desenvolvimento. Mas também não adianta botar os caras com 5 maluco novo que não vão conseguir performar. Tem que ter uma integração smooth, digamos assim. O do Pro Delta não foi. Por exemplo, o Brence. Colocaram o Brence num time muito experiente com, na role, menos necessária a experiência, entendeu? Vocês entendem a diferença?
In solo queue. Data, he's on like middle.
Por exemplo, vamos ver como o SeeEl vai desenvolver o Morteus. Ele já falou que é o jogador mais promissor que tem, na opinião dele no Brasil. A maioria dos times com essa visão era Morteus o titular. Vocês não acham? A line teria sido Pro Delta, Morteus o bot. Ele tá fazendo diferente.
Bottom, including LEC. That's a fact. Has big Champo. Calist is 17, and he would never come to Brazil. Guys, why the would Calist come to Brazil? Guys, come on. Don't be stupid. Like, it's very rare to get top talent in Brazil. Like, to be honest, I have no reason to join. I joined because, 1, KEYD, management. Number 1. 2, long-term vision. Number 3, honor over money. I can't join G2, so I can't win worlds. What's the point? I can't join LCK, so what's the point? I already won LEC. I mean, I've said it before, like, there's no reason for Calist to come. So the thing with Koreans also is that you're never really getting top Korean level players. Because if they were top level, they would go LEC, LCK, LPL, NA. No, for me, I want to build a legacy. So Smiley has good mechanics, good play, top level for Brazil. Best team environment architect. Can set the road for Mortius in 2 years. Can prepare and show our top rookies. And perpetuate, so continue, good examples and environment. In-game leader, high LP solo queue. Decent data. Under market value. That's why we pick Smiley. Sometimes you need to choose, right? And what I can tell you right now is that you don't need the best players to win. In fact...
Obrigado, SeeEl. Dá pra emoldurar isso que ele falou? Dá pra emoldurar? Depois vem os idiotas nas tier list. Ah, mas os caras da Red estão tudo em terceiro e tu botou eles em primeiro. Como assim? Red tá na frente da Loud e os jogadores da Loud estão na frente. Sim. Não são necessariamente individualmente os melhores jogadores que ganham. É um time. É um jogo em time, senão seria 1v1. Cada lane tira um V1 aí, quem ganhar 3 de 5 ganha. Porra.
Getting 5 top players is often... How often do super teams work? 1 in 20? 1 in 30? historically. What matters is how they work together. So what I'm really thinking is I need to be realistic. And by the way, I don't think Kaboom's a super team, but we'll talk about that. How does Smiley fit with the other 4 pieces? This is what I need to consider.
Se o time da Loud não tivesse ganhado CBLOL juntos. Nossa, o teu argumento acabou de destruir o meu. Incrível. Teu argumento destruiu o meu. Caramba. Sem palavras. Curioso.
Does that make sense? How does Smiley fit with the other players? He works really
Não,
fucking...
se tu não precisa dos melhores jogadores pra ganhar um campeonato, logo se tu tem os melhores é impossível ganhar. Mano, a argumentação lógica de umas pessoas às vezes transcende, eu acho, o plausível, velho. Eles conseguem assumir coisas incríveis baseadas em uma frase, velho.
Well, Takui. He makes Takui a better player and a better person. He gives confidence to his teammates. He brings up his teammates. House is insane, by the way. You guys are crazy. House is number 1 in data. House was number 1 in data for us. He was the best mid laner in data. The best mid laner in data. Especially on control mages. But the problem with House was he's very expensive in Brazil. And he has a limited champion pool. And then also you have to consider things like outside of his outside life. How does he perform in stress? How does he deal with teammates? How does he deal with stress? How does he deal with his habits outside? Does he drink alcohol? Right? But he's very good. He's very good. So, I mean, for me, guys, there's no better choice than Smiley. No better choice. And to be completely honest, we had one other option, Titan Dinkido. So it would have been something like Gigo, Yampi, Ranger, Titan. But like, budget-wise, it's too much. It was hard. It was hard. Like, even if I took a 100k pay cut, it would be hard. We'd barely make it. So which player should we go on to next, guys? Why do we keep Gigo? But by the way, Titan is worth every cent. He's intelligent. He's mechanically strong. He's a decent teammate, / motivated, and driven to win. And he's a native Brazilian.
Ele disse 100 mil de pay cut por ano, velho. Não por mês, calma.
Opens up another what? Import slot. No, I mean, Titan's good, guys, for sure. I'm getting a lot of different ones. So should we do Disarmus, Gigo, Pro Delta, or Tukui? I mean, Tukui is not much, guys. Tukui, data is almost caps level. He's been LEC level for a long time. I think just needs help with confidence and team environment. And he needs a good coach. Yeah, his data is insane. Like, Tukui isn't a player that should be in Brazil. I messaged him every day for like 2 months to join. I can join KEYD because I was contract jailed. Because I was contract jailed, so I had no verbal agreement, and I said, "Heretics, let me go. I really want to go to Brazil." And I was like, "You can find a good wife for like 2 months." No, but like I hadn't had a verbal agreement then, so basically like Tukui level is not for Brazil. He's like, his contract was massive in Europe for ERL. He played in LCS and could easily out-mid half the LEC mid laners. Like, he took a big risk to come to Brazil. Like, 2 months of begging. Not literally 2 months, by the way, obviously. Not 2 months of begging.
Ai. Quer jogar um jogo survival? Ainda não. Acabou? Esses jogadores não são amassados na lane phase, ô Doug. Isso eu te garanto. Na lane phase não são.
He also sacrificed a lot salary. To be clear, guys. He's easily Tino's level. So Tukui can play mages, assassins, tanks. He has good data on all. He's consistently high challenger. 2x French champion. He's almost taking he would make elsewhere. Similar to me. And he's joining because we locked. Here's the important part, guys. Smiley to me. Like, he really wants to go worlds. Because as I said, guys, good practice, good environment, being happy is probably more important. Does that make sense? For most players. That's why top players join top teams, because top teams have good orgs. Even like, if you want to sign good players and your org is bad, you pay so much more money, especially if you have a bad coach. So Tukui is too fucking good for Brazil, to be honest. Does that answer enough about Tukui? And like, this shows how valuable Smiley is. So Tukui is a part of my 5-year plan. he will stay. Smiley will have to fight for his spot after year 2. From year 3 onwards, he will have had to show me he has the level to play international. Because my goal is to make groups, ideally top 8. So even if I don't win this year and it ruins my rep, I need to find my core players. Does that make sense? Like, I will probably get Van Petersod giga hard when I lose. My mindset is never to win day 1. It's to win year 2 and have the best core year 3. Does that make sense? So, Decimus or Delta. Same thing. Best data. Number 1 in solo queue. Easily the best. I think.
Eu achei muito engraçado um monte de torcedor reclamando, falando: ah, se o cara falar isso na minha org de ganhar no ano 2, eu já ia surtar. Faz 2 anos que só a Loud ganha, mano. Mais alguma org ganhou? Não. Porque tentou ganhar apenas o próximo split da Loud. Infelizmente, vitórias não se constroem da noite pro dia com um paycheck.
Really under market value. Let's start with Decimus. So, Decimus data, and I kid you not, number 2, 3, and 4, same time, best data. And he's unique because he has low deaths.
Mano, pega, por exemplo, o Exodia. Foi um time em 2014 que tinha 5 idiota, 4 idiota com o Joko na época, né? Aí a gente jogou uns campeonatos, mostrou bom resultado, mas não ganhou no primeiro ano. Aí no segundo ano a gente conseguiu Revolta. Ganhou, a Revolta saiu, fomos pra final. E aí no terceiro ano voltou o Revolta e o time, mano, ganhou tudo. A própria Loud. A Loud começou com o Team, Robô, Cells, e aí tinha o Dudes e o Tai. Não deu certo, foram lá, trocaram. Ganharam. Então, tipo, eles já tinham a base. Esses times não se constroem do nada. Só que tu tem que estar preparado pra não vencer, pra tu não queimar as tuas chances de continuar construindo essa base, velho.
And high what? High deep.
Como assim, mano? O Team e o Robô jogaram com o Tai, pô, e o Dudes. Como não? Tai Jungle, sim, é o que eu tô falando. Então, eles não... Aí que tá. Tu vê, a Loud contratou um trio que ficou de fora dos playoffs um ano. Depois eles construíram em cima da base e ganharam 3 títulos. Quer algo mais, mano, construído do que isso? Falei, o Exodia foi a mesma coisa. A PEN lá, que ganhou em 2015, foi a mesma coisa, mano. Eles tinham a base lá há muito tempo, contrataram o Mylon, contrataram o Jude e aí deslancharam. É tipo... Nunca é, mano, do nada tu contratou 5 jogadores, eles estão jogando a primeira vez junto e vrau, o time, mano. O time vence tudo.
EPM.
Espero que isso fique na mente de vocês.
So most top players, so if you look at players like Caps, right? Gold per minute. Gold per minute. The best world-class players have really high gold per minute, very high damage per minute, but high deaths. But the difference between Decimus, and you very rarely get exceptions, is that he's able...
Agora com a base da PEN, taça com tintas e cura, e pode ser, mano. Pode ser que a base deles tava sólida e só faltava a bot lane. É uma pena que já é a terceira bot lane, mas vai que uma hora eles acertam que era a bot lane. Fica a dúvida aí.
Able to fuck people really hard and not die, which means he's winning every fight in the data. No. High kills too. So I scouted him before he went to Brazil. Before he went to Korea. He's an exception. There's one player that's like this in Europe on summer. One player. So what can I do with Decimus? Well, I think Decimus's team environment, in my opinion...
Vamos ouvir aqui o que ele falou dos exames que eu me perdi, mano.
Have really
acabou esse assunto.
Gold players. Decimus.
Vamos ver sobre os exames do Pro
Same
Delta.
thing. Best data. Number 1 in solo queue. Easily the best. I think both were really under market value. Let's start with Decimus. So, Decimus data, and I kid you not, number 2, 3, and 4, same time, best data. And he's unique because he has low deaths, high GPM, and high what? High DPM. So most top players, so if you look at players like Caps, right? Gold per minute. Gold per minute. The best world-class players have really high gold per minute, very high damage per minute, but high deaths. But the difference between Decimus, and you very rarely get exceptions, is that he's able to fuck people really hard and not die, which means he's winning every fight in the data. No. High kills too. So I scouted him before he went to Brazil, before he went to Korea. He's an exception. There's one player that's like this in Europe, Hansama. One player. So what can I do with Decimus? Well, I think Decimus's team environment, in my opinion, probably not good. Number 2, I think he's really fucking stupid. Or was. Like, he was really stuck in Grandmaster in Korea, initially. And number 3, he's a rookie. So he doesn't know how to behave in a team. He is mechanically gifted, smart, hungry, learns fast, everything you want in a player. But unfortunately for him, he's born in Brazil. So it's really hard to grow. So I want to grow him fast. That's what I'm being honest. So what ended up happening? What ended up happening to Decimus? Only one other player got to the similar rank. 1,400 LP. Challenger career. And I coached him from Master. Only Brance got to this level. And I think Brance is top 2 in his role, which means what? Well, I think he was a bit of a semi-one trick with Lee Sin, like playing a blind. If given time, I think that Decimus is in my 5-year plan. Like, the reason I took Decimus and Pro Delta is I think they have the potential to play international
Eu
level.
acho que eles têm, mas, mano... A não ser que o Tocofoda-se e o Smile sejam muito vocais e consigam organizar o time, a KEYD tem um problema sério no primeiro split.
Like, stage play is different, but also, like, can be trained. Stress management. So Pro Delta, rank 1 data. Not even close. He is that guy. Initially, we couldn't get him. Pain trolled again. So we got him really cheap. I think the best supports right now are 1 Seos, 2 Jojo, or Frosty. I think Frosty. 3 Jojo. 4 damage. 5 Pro Delta. I don't know about Curry, so I'll leave Curry, okay? But I think in potential, it's 1 Frosty / Pro Delta. 2 Jojo. 3 everyone else. Like, Seos isn't going to grow that much more. I think he's the best player in Brazil. Full stop. Not just in his role. I think Seos is the best. Zay is like number 6 or 7. Damage is not garbage. Damage is not garbage. Damage is okay. I think Damage is a good player. I think Damage right now is better than Pro Delta. But I think Pro Delta's level can play with the Asians. Redbird, Evita dog. Look, this is all I'm gonna reveal. I think he's okay. I think Redbird is okay, but like he's definitely not Seos Frosty Jojo level. That's 100% true, no? I think everybody agrees with that, even Pain. Yeah, Zay's Pike got a pentakill against my team, so we don't talk about this, okay? So I think Redbird has potential, but my guess is he will suffer in Pain. Not Pain, sorry. What am I saying? Loud. That's my opinion.
Mano, ele vai sofrer muito na loud.
I think Jojo, like, you can argue Jojo is better than Frosty. I think that's what happened. Like, I wanted Frosty. His buyout was like 1 million real.
Yeah.
Like, this is before we knew we could get Pro Delta.
Thank you for believe on Brazil.
Thank you, Bruno Adelpo. Anyway, so look, guys, his level is really good. And Pro Delta's data was by far number 1. Like, give me a sec. Okay, I can't show you because I will leak too much. But let me just say that he is number 1. Okay. So let's go with Gigo. Number 1 in data, better than Robbo. I think this year, like, KEYD roster was terrorism. Like, I think mid jungle that didn't work. Bot was average, and I saw all beyond the stars. So when you're asking why players got replaced, I hope that answers your question. Well, like, number 1 for me, like, there was a world where Grevtar stayed. Number 2 is like the only Grell was locked to leave. This was 100% on me. And 3, it just came down to like, if Took was available, us selling Grevtar just made sense. Like, I don't think Grevtar's performance was his fault. He looked good with Aegis. And obviously, we're all hesitant giving Grevtar the best environment to beat us by going to Red, Brant's, Jojo, and Aegis, right? But we did the right thing because KEYD and myself is about ethics. I'll be honest. I think Grevtar has the level.
Se a KEYD fosse, mano, pau no cu pra caralho, eles não venderiam pra Red porque saberia que o fit na Red ia ser muito grande. Mas, e sabendo que a Red seria um dos melhores times. Porém, eles terem vendido pra Red, que é por onde ele queria ir, é realmente um gesto da hora.
I think Grevtar has the level, but his laning is...
O Kuli vai chocar você, eu quero ver ele jogar. Quando ele chegar no Brasil,
I think
a gente pode ver uma solo kills dele aqui no Brasil. E a gente vai ver.
Will always struggle versus international mid, and he didn't 100% fit the profile I needed to develop Mortius, because I need an oppressive mid jungle, not one that sits back and roams 24/7 with 7 CS, 6 CSPM, aka Brazilian Niski. So Grevtar is a really good player. I chose Took because Mortius and the future of KEYD. And also, like, I think that Grevtar is almost too vocal. Something I need to think about is I want to give space for my rookies to grow. According to, let's just talk about, what's the word? Like traditional sports science.
Merda! Bora pra ganhar!
Novatos. Novice. Are you learning Portuguese? Yeah. Eu estou estudando português. 2 meses. 2 meses. No, 2 meses. But according to traditional sports science, aka like and performance coaching, one of the most important things in a team to develop rookies, or in a team in general, is autonomy, aka the ability to be heard, do your own thing, be able to express opinion. I don't think Prods had that. Make sense? When Zeus came out of T1 Academy, they gave him this space and developed him from young age. And Grev has very, very strong opinions. So that's the Grevtar. So why Trigger and Damage? I genuinely think they're good pieces. But it ended up where I just didn't have spots for them. Really. I promise. I swear on my 2 testicles. Like, I swear, bro. Like, Trigo is solid piece. I think Trigo has potential, but needs good coaching. Damage is already a good piece. Like, it just didn't fit. Even though their personality profiles. So why Gigo? Gigo is just up to Brazil. Robo, Gigo. Number 1 data. Good teammate. Hungry to win. The only thing is, like, the only con is he doesn't play solo queue. So when I'm in Brazil, so like right now I can't control him because I'm in Germany. But when I'm in Brazil, he will die. He needs to work a lot. But I also think he can play international level. Like, I think his potential is similar to Robo, maybe higher. That's my honest opinion. So, like, losing Gigo made no sense. He can play both tanks and bruisers. He can play weak side and strong side, although both need work. He can play mechanically and solid understanding of the game. Give space to others to talk. He's everything I want. Also in my 5-year plan. Gigo trades on bounce waves a lot. He's like so skitty. He's very buho on weak side. Everyone read it? I can move on? So like, Brazil, Took is staying, okay? Sorry, Gigo is staying. So Lifania, LP LoL champ. Although I do think it's similar to T3. Impressive EU Masters run. I wanted a Brazilian. He really overperformed from a weak region. He primarily coached online, so he needs to develop his sense IRL. Because what most managers don't do, the head coach, sorry, like in football terms, is like the player mood, player condition matters. How you structure feedback and do drafts needs to change because your stress point or who can handle the stress and carry changes depending on this. So basically Lifania, for me, I gave him the job in 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna draft this time. Why? Well, as I said, I want a Brazilian because part of my mission is to coach coaches, including academy. I want to develop staff for the long term that can take my position and do a good job. And there are a lot of people that say I want to be a coach. I'll be honest with you guys, okay? If you're in chats saying I want to be a coach, the chance of you joining KEYD is 0.001%. Like, please focus on developing your resume first. I'll be honest. You need to have some level. So, like, Lifania...
Ele tá tentando fazer o que o Peter fez na Splice, mano. Eu tô achando que é a mesma coisa, velho. Foi pra Splice, pegou um bando de Hulk, tentou montar um team culture, tentou desenvolver staff. Tanto que quando ele saiu lá da Mad Lions, a Mad Lions continuou, tipo, prosperando.
Want someone that struggled to speak English. I didn't want so they can lead Brazil and elevate the region and be the core of KEYD for years. I didn't want someone that struggled to speak English. Lifania has perfect English, and I didn't want someone that didn't have the basic level where I would have to teach someone everything from the very start. And I want someone who is organized, speaks well, and generally intelligent. So yeah, I mean, that's why Lifania was picked. If you see Lifania, to give you guys an idea, Lifania is someone that won LPLO twice. This is the Portuguese league. He's consistently made better results, and he made a very, very historic run in EU Masters because basically, to tell you the truth, Portuguese league sucks cock. They're basically like the worst fucking region in Europe in regional leagues. And he made it to top 8, which is crazy. And all of his references were really good. I put really heavy emphasis on player reference because no one will be more honest. See, okay, let me give you an example. Like, if LFL is similar to CBLOL, maybe a bit worse. Turkey, same, maybe similar or a bit worse, but I think similar. Then LVP Prime is a bit below that. IMO Prime. So this is Spanish and German leagues are a bit below the Turkish and French leagues, a bit below, just because of budget and everything, but not by much. So there's a lot of talented Spanish players. I love the Spaniards. At the very bottom, it's like Italy League. Then it's like the Balkan League. Then it's like the Greek League. Ultraliga's here. You can argue Ultraliga similar to Prime League. Then it's like LPLO, Portugal, and Hit Point Masters. But he got a team from the fucking Portuguese league and went top 8. So he beat a lot of these teams to get here. That's crazy. He lost to the Italian team 0-3, but even getting out of groups was very impressive. To be honest, I don't really care about results. I just wanted to explain so you guys understand the significance, so like the level of Portugal. To be honest, you should...
Eu vou no banheiro enquanto passa o Zad, rapaziada, rapidão. Tá. Acabou o Zad? Bora. Marcha, então.
Never ever judge a coach by results because there's so much that can happen. Just read the references of the players. Yeah, I think we can compete against everyone. So like TLDR on our roster, I think we can win CBLOL year 1. Goal is top 3. To be honest, realistic expectation should be 5th/6th. This is a fair placing. That is fair to budget. Anything above is overperforming. Anything below is underperforming. I think so. Because we have 2 gringos and 2 rookies. I think the level I showed at Heretics was not even 30% of what I can do for a lot of reasons. I won't talk about it here. Important thing is I learned a lot, and I think next year we'll be bang. I think that's pretty. I think like me, to be honest, like me ex Peter were not a good team, and a lot of it is on me. We just don't fit well. Peter, I respect to the end of the earth, and he is a legend in the scene. And he also was my mentor, so I will be thankful forever. He is a genuinely good person. We just didn't fit well, and there were instances where I just didn't agree, and entered too. Like for example, we had mixed roles. In spring, in winter, I did draft, Peter did review. In spring, I did review, he did draft. In summer, Peter did both, which I think is just better. Because review and draft need to reflect how you want to play the game.
Eu acho que eles andam... Eles andam lado a lado, mano, draft e review, velho. O teu draft tem que ser pensado na forma de jogar, e não tu faz o draft pra depois saber como jogar.
Whether or not, I agree with the vision. In summer, I played a fully supportive role. This is very different from Rogue. Because like, everything other than the final draft, I had a say, basically. That's my honest opinion. So, I mean, I think that I learned a lot. I feel really bad. Like, I feel really, really bad about Heretics because, like, I did fail without a doubt. And, you know, like, I can only just get up and keep going. I think head coach should always do both and then delegate depending on the situation, because review is an overview of how you want the game to be played, and the draft is the way that determines how you should play. For example, if you have Callista, Thresh bot, you're diving bot and playing Herald. So your review style needs to match that. This is what we didn't really connect with. I think I hella trolled. But also we were coaching the same team. Like Peter was my mentor for years. So, but I also think that, like I joined Heretics thinking that Peter was more of a delegator. Like, because in Mad Lions, he delegated to Mac, and in LCS, he delegated to Rigby and Turtle, mostly, right? But I think he wanted to take a bit more of an active approach, and that's fine. I think his view on the game is very good too. Is it time to coach Nukelink, guys? So I think I explained everything, right?
Acho que sim, mano. Deve ter dado umas 2 horas de vídeo, mas explicado. Ele e o Peter, pelo visto, não se deram bem. E, mano, vida que segue. Vocês viram? Mano, tu pode juntar 2 coaches bons em um time e eles não darem certo ainda. E os caras vêm e me falam que é só juntar 5 player bom que vai ganhar um campeonato. Tomar no cu, né? Porra. Peter ajudando nós mesmo depois de muito tempo? É verdade, Ana. Esse Peter é da NTZ que ele tá falando. Vamos ver a parada do Academy, que eu não vi ainda.